Rovers transfer business is not done yet, but how's it been so far? Today, I'm going to sit down with some Rovers mafiosos to talk all about our transfer business, both in and out. So, folks, back once again with another video. Today we take a look at, of course, the transfer business for Blackburn Rovers. Did we do good? Did we do bad? In fact, we're going to rank it, our performance so far in the business world. That's right. Did we do a bang for our buck, or did we get mugged off? We'll get into all of that, of course, in a second. Big shout out to the members. Big shout out to the patrons. You know who you are. But, of course, we're going to jump in the deep end in just 1 second. Of course, big shout out to my members. Again, we are the one-stop shop for Blackburn Rovers. Seeds right here. Before we jump into the deep end, I want to hand you over to Eddie to talk about things we are working on behind the scenes.
Hey, with Eddie back once again, but this time I don't want your money. No, I want your name, your voice, your Rovers memories. That's right. We started a social media project over on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, showcasing 150 Blackburn Rovers memories. I've asked fans from around the globe to drop their Rovers memories, but of course I need more of them. That's right. 150 is a big number and we need some more, and that's where you come in. That's right. Whether it's the best player, best goal, best shirt, best moment in regards to Blackburn Rovers, I want to hear about it. So if you want to do that, again, follow that link. There is also one down in the description, and drop it in there. Of course, that memory will be featured over on Twitter on a day of its own, and then of course together in a master video when we drop it on November the 5th to celebrate Blackburn Rovers 150th anniversary. So please do me a favour and drop your Rovers memory. But anyway, once again, back to Dirk to wrap.
Appreciate that, Eddie. Thanks again for that. If you are interested in help us out trying to get 150 Blackburn Rovers memories, do as he says, drop your video. There is a link in the description. But now let's recap our transfer business both in and out for Rovers so far in the 2025-2026 EFL Championship campaign. We've had, Irish centre-back coming in here from Hull. Not too sure about the fee. I don't have the number in front of me. Is it around about $1 million? I don't know. But it was on the shopping list. Left-footed centre-back. Good bit of business maybe by Rovers.
Yeah, potentially. I don't know enough about the guy. I mean, it just with any championship team that comes to Ewood Park, you're more looking at the midfielders and the attacking players as opposed to he's a really good defender unless somebody has an absolutely standout game. But yeah, so unfortunately, I don't have any friends. Well, hang on, I need to rephrase that. I don't have any friends. I don't have any Hull City friends. Yeah, let's edit that bit out. But yeah, I don't have any Hull City friends, so I've not been able to bounce anything off anybody, sort of thing. So it's a bit of the unknown, but I guess every single fan in this country, when they sign a player that's a bit unknown to them, they think they're going to be just a little rough diamond and they found an absolute gem that's going to, and I guess that's where I am with a lot of our players because I don't know that much about them. I've only seen a couple of them on the pre-season friendly against Everton. So, he's... we've had some decent Irish players over the past, haven't we? So hopefully he's going to fit into that category. I think the best Irish player we've had undoubtedly is Damien Duff. So hopefully, there's a bit of a thing going on with our Irish contingent as well. So let's wait and see. Again, seems a big lad, big presence in the box as well. So left-footed as well. So yeah, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed indeed. And yeah, we did have some good Irish players. David Duff, stand out. We've also had some good Australians, that's right. Socceroos, of course. Holmesy, the closest probably geographically, I think, to maybe Australia. I don't know. But your take on Lewis Miller coming in from Hibs, right back. Excited?
Yeah, listen, just from what the fans are saying, I think Hibs were quite disappointed to lose him. I think and from the Australians, they seem pretty high up on Miller. But yeah, it's a position that we needed filling. It was pretty much, I think, a like-for-like young guy, 24 years old. I think, what did we get him for? About $1 million? Is that right?
Yeah, 750, 1 million between those two.
750, 1 million. Put it this way: I'd much rather have Lewis Miller for 750,000 than Joe Rankin Costello for $1 million. So I think it's a good bit of business that we did over there. So Lewis Miller, I think exciting. If he can be half the player that Lucas Neal was, I think we've got a winner there.
Yeah, I'm. Well, hey, the pedigree of the Australians that we've had over the years. We've had, of course, Brett Edmonton's main standout for me. Maybe a little bit before your
Yeah.
time, Jacob. But we had him. We had Lucas Neal, who was also fantastic. I know we kind of had a little bit of a bitter pill with him, how he left Blackburn Rovers. But for most parts, the Socceroos that pulled on the blue and white halves tended to be pretty decent, bar maybe the odd one. But meanwhile, we also picked up the Belgian Denvra, and we saw him in action at Everton. Are you happy with what you see with him so far, Jacob?
Yeah, I mean, he seems a tidy player. Obviously, it was a nice finish as well in the right area when he tucked it away. I mean, is he versatile, Dirk? Because I thought when we signed him, he was kind of a left-sided defender, but I mean, he's been playing on the left wing, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was. Well, what I noted from him when we were linked was that he could play at left wing back, but he's been played further up the field, and I guess that's where they see him for being a left winger. Competition for Cogbo up top there, but a goal on his I won't say his debut. I don't think it was his debut. It might have been his debut, but yeah, interesting. Like Rudy said, interesting way to tackle the transfer window by exploring players that may not necessarily have been playing in the positions that they're going to play for Rovers. So
I mean, all I can say is watching him is he doesn't look out of place there on that left side, and I'd much rather have him there than Orion Edges, that's for sure, from what I've seen. So
yeah,
it can only be an improvement. And also, I think looking at the personnel that we've brought in, there's definitely been kind of a conscious effort to raise the height of the squad. There's a lot of these lads we're bringing in are quite big lads. I look at some of the midfielders we've brought in; they all seem a lot bigger in terms of their stature as well. So maybe this is kind of Ishmael's kind of way, and I'm assuming there's going to be a bit more of a push towards being better at set pieces and things this season.
Anyway, let's move on forward to a couple of other transfers. We've got Ryan Ablosu. Not much to know about this guy. I know he's a ex Arsenal academy guy. Played his football. He was actually signed. He signed for the same club Denvra was playing for, Kutrich out in Belgium. But he actually spent last season over in Scotland. I think with St Mirren. And before you even knock the old Scottish football, the season prior, Owen Beck was up there and he ran the show at left back up at Scotland. Well, I think he was in the team of the season. So high hopes for this guy. Another shrewd move by Rovers, Jonty.
It's the unknown, isn't it? He's a right back, apparently. He's come across from Belgium. He's been into Scotland. So, yeah. Like I say, it could be just that rough diamond that we're looking for at right back to fit in nicely with the void that Callum Britton has left. So, but I mean, whoever goes into that right back position, they've got some big boots to fill, haven't they? So you kind of feel sorry for them. But let's hope Ryan's the man to take us forward, sort of thing. I don't know. It's going to take. We can't judge these players on the first 2 or 3 games either. So if they don't look up to much in the first 2 or 3 games, then it's going to take a bit of time to adapt to a very, very tough league. We've said it before. The Championship every season just gets harder and harder and harder. Normally, the 3 teams that have come up, they're going to be flirting with relegation or at least mid-table, and you'd like to think that you take at least 4 points out of those kind of games where your Birmingham and Wrexham. I'm sure we're going to be moving on to this, and I'm stealing my own thunder for later. But your Birmingham's, your Wrexham, I personally don't think they're going to be looking down the relegation barrel. So. But back to Ryan, yeah, could be a shrewd move. In Rudy, we trust. He's to be fair to Rudy Gestede, a lot of the players that he has brought in over the period of time that he's been here has been pretty good. To be fair, I guess Rudy's probably had his doubters at times, but no, I think he's done all right with signings. And you watch some of the Rovers videos when they do that, and you watch them coming into Brockhall as well, and Rudy's there. He's high fiving. It's almost like he's been on a bit of a journey to get his man, and he genuinely looks delighted. So let's. I think, like I say, the hardest thing for me is just how are they going to adapt to a very, very tough English league sort of thing, where you don't get a split second on the ball. You have to be absolutely on it every single game, don't you? To progress. So, my biggest concern with all of these, with the exception of maybe just one, it's going to be really, really difficult to create songs about these guys, chants. So, yeah, it might be a tough gig, that one, but that's somebody else's problem, isn't it?
It is. Holmes, a couple more here before at the end of this, you're going to grade our transfer winners. So start thinking about your grades between A for amazing and F for fantastic. What's up?
Just a quick one, Dirk. I just want you to ask Jonty if he uses the same logic for Big Mac last season. Give him a few games before he made his mind up on him. Can you pass that message on?
Did you hear any of that, Jonty?
No, nothing.
He said, "Did you use the same logic as you did last season when you judged Macdar Gay? Blah 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 blah, something like
that." Who was that for? For which player?
For Gay.
Big Mac Macdar Gay. Anyway, let's move on.
Oh, did I use the same theory about?
Yes, the same logic.
Giving him time to settle in.
Yeah. Any logic on that?
Okay. No logic whatsoever.
All right, a couple more here quickly before we move on to changing topics here. We got Sidney Tavares, Portuguese guy again. I think he might have a British passport. I think he's kind of snuck in that way. We saw a little bit of him at the Dutch game on the weekend. Possibly a guy for next season. Well, I think he'll play. We spent the most money on him. Excited for what you can get out of him.
Listen, let's see. I suppose in Rovers terms, this is our big money signing for the season. I think it was just under £2 million for him. So, yeah, let's see what he can do. Central midfielder, needed to bolster up that part of the team. Although, in fairness, we need to bolster up the whole team. But yeah, let's see how he performs. I hope he has a good season. But I mean, for me, as Jonty said, there's a lot of unknowns this season. So
it's just strange, Dirk. Sorry, Holmesy, to cut you off. Go on.
No problem.
I was just going to say, it just seems strange to me that our big money signing is signing a midfielder when he's going to have a real tough time getting in that team over Travis and Tronstad if both of them stay. Like, to spend $2 million, which, as you just said, Holmesy, is a lot of money for us, as depressing as that is. It's just like, it seems so daft. And I would as soon have spent that money on getting a winger. I mean, like, how many times Ryan Hedges had to play last season, even though he was absolute crap for most of the season, if not all of it. And, we were just begging for a winger. And, we've gone and spent $2 million on a position that we've got two of the best midfielders in the championship in our team.
Yeah, well, actually, if you had, today, fresh off the plate at the bat, it does look like more money, even more money is going to be spent on that winger. And there's a couple of names banded about, and it does look like it could be a Japanese fella that used to play for Birmingham. He's now playing back in the Bundesliga. So over 2 million could be spent on him. Fugurashi or something his name is, just rolls off the tongue. So he could be coming in with more money. So one more. This is on you, Jacob. I know it's not much to work off of him, but it's the Axeman, Axel Henriksen. A lot of Swedish people, like if I did a video on him, like I do on all the signings, and there's a lot of views on this, a lot of comments, a lot of his old club fans are very sad to see him go. This could be a bit of a steal in the end, and again, a player that's probably going to find it difficult to get in the team originally, but Cantwell 2.0 potentially, or Buckley replacement. I don't know, but
Sigurdsson.
Yeah, Sigurdsson maybe. No, he's a central guy. Plays down the center of the park. A lot of the Swedes are sad to see him go, and could be a steal for us in the end.
Is it Jacob though? Is that who the picture is? Because look at that.
It does look like it does look like Jacob,
They
doesn't
could be
it?
brothers.
Yeah, it is. It's actually it's twin, more gifted on the pitch twin potentially. So Jacob, what's your comments on your brother here? Good looking
Well,
chap, right? Good looking chap, right? That's what you're gonna say.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, it's my dad must have nipped over to Sweden at some point. but yeah, I mean, I think this one is a position where we probably did need someone. I mean, I think Todd at times last season. Here he is.
Keep going.
I think Todd at sometimes last season definitely needed that competition. So I think to have someone come in and be breathing down his neck now is definitely a good thing. I mean, obviously, Todd only chipped in with a goal and open play in the second to last game, was it? You know what I mean? Which just wasn't good enough. His shooting at times was very poor. The amount of goals he should have finished the season with should have been a lot higher. Let's say that. So look, it's a true bit of business. We're obviously trying to do the whole Brentford thing with Moneyball and whatnot, aren't we? Try and pick up these hidden gems, and hopefully one season we can just miraculously get into the playoffs like Brentford did, and I think finally then the owners would sell up. So yeah, let's just hope that these are diamonds in the rough.
Yeah, that's what it could. That's what I think we're all pinning our hopes on. It might work out. We never know. Anyway, so 6 signings coming in, and a couple of big names going out. John T, how would you grade our transfer window out of A for amazing, B all the way down to F being catastrophic?
Dirk, have you talked about Britain?
We have not. I didn't have the thing.
This is going to be controversial.
Hang on 1 second, Jotty. It was matey boy Jacob chipped in there with. I know you can hear it. Talk about Canterbury. We'll talk about him afterwards. Let's grade the transfer business on players coming in. John T, over to you. We'll talk about Britain in a bit. John T, your sort. The floor is yours.
You've just changed the goalpost there because you said about the transfer players coming.
Yes, coming in.
Yeah, you were just saying about you changed the goalposts coming in, because up until that point, if you just said grade the transfer window so far, at the minute I'd say it as a B, but that's based on people like not losing Lewis Travis or Tronstad or other players that have been where other clubs have been circling around. So, but if we're only basing it so far on the players that are coming in, then I think it's a C. I'm going to sit on the fence and say it's a C, because a lot of these names are unknown. A bit like what everybody else has done. I've read some of the comments about the outgoing player from their club coming into our club, and a lot of them do seem a little bit gutted that they've left that, which is a good sign. But again, it's a championship. It's a tough league. It's quicker. It's you've got to be stronger in this league. It's back-to-back games as well. You've got the lovely weather of Blackburn to look forward to in November as well. So all of these things will be a test for you guys coming in from Portugal as well. So at this moment in time, it's a C. But if we include the players that have not left the club, I mean, with the exception of Callum Britton, that's the biggest disappointment of leaving the club. Then it would be a B so far. For me, the main point now is to retain as many of the players that we've got. And then remember, we've got the loan as well. We seem to do all right with a couple of Liverpool or Man City connections as well coming into the club. So, we might be able to pick up a little rough diamond again in that lot, like a Harvey Elliott or somebody like that. So B or a C.
Okay. Holmesy, what you got for me? Grading the transfer window as a players coming in so far.
Yeah, I mean, John T took the words out of my mouth there, especially with the loans. I think up until this point, with who we've got in, I'd say it's a B minus, C plus B minus. So slightly more optimistic than John T there. And, with, say we get this Japanese fellow from the Bundesliga, I think that could be a good bit of business there, right winger, sorely needed. as Jacob also said, get Hedges out there, out of the team, provide some competition on that side. But yeah, once we've got those transfers set up, I think one point that we should mention, and where we've lost a lot of players over the last 3 or 4 years through contracts running out, not being able to re-sign them. Obviously, with Waggett moving on to greener pastures or wherever he's happened to go, I'm just presuming he's grazing in a field somewhere. But yeah, I think what Rudy's done now is he's trying to get guys onto contracts. If you're not going to sign those contracts, it's time for you to move on. The Dolans, whatever it may be, and let's get some consistency within the team. Every season we seem to have this thing where people were running out their contracts. So I hope that is becoming more of a priority. Keeping those players, getting them under contract, putting them under long-term contracts, thinking ahead, not just panicking when the contract's about to run out. So if we can get that done, good signings coming in, and then just prop it up with a couple of loans, 2 or 3 good loans. Your Becks, your Harvey Elliott's is obviously the standout one there, and I think it can go up to a B plus if one get that right winger, a couple of good loans, and could have a B plus, which I don't think we've had for a while.
Agreed. Jacob, your take on the window?
I'm going to give it a B. I'm going to give it a B, Dirk. I mean, obviously, as we've all kind of said, a lot of unknowns. We're not really knowing what we're getting from any of these players, bar maybe, McLaughlin, who from the whole fans were sorry to see him go. Obviously, the rest of them are coming from foreign leagues, aren't they? So I guess we don't know until they're on the pitch. But what I would say is I'm very happy that we've done the business a lot earlier this season. Seasons gone by, we were always just leaving it lastminute.com. The season's already underway, and then we're bringing players in. They don't have the pre-season to settle in and get to know the players and whatnot, and then they're just playing catch up. So I'm very happy that this season it seems like we've done 80% of our business or so before we even kicked the ball. Whereas, last season, I think we've got Yuki and Maktar through the door in the pre-season, and then, we were bringing in players after that. Your Todd Cantwell's, for example, coming in when the season was underway. So I'm a lot happier this season in that regard, and it does seem like Rudy is more on top of it. So I'll give him his flowers there, and yeah, let's just hope that these gambles have paid off.
Indeed. And I'm just for argument's sake, I'll just chuck mine in there, and I'll probably. What am I going to do with then? I'll go with a C plus. Not an equals. Where the heck's I got this world's smallest keyboard. Upgrade my keyboard. C plus. I'm excited by the new guy Axel. I think he's going to be a star player. Concerned a little bit about the right backs. I like the Aussie, the Ryan fella. Not too sure about him right now. McLaughlin was an anticlimactic kind of signing. Yes, he does fit the mold of left-footed centre back, but I was excited about some of the names that were linked. There was a guy called Koulibaly or something playing out in Poland, and I was really hopeful that we'd pick him off because he would have been, I think, a Premier League kind of centre back, and we just wouldn't budge on the price. So. In honesty, I'm excited about the Aussie. I'm excited about the Swede coming in there, but I still want to see some extra reinforcements up top. So appreciate that, guys. Of course, if you are interested in joining the bandwagon, we're trying to look for some new recruits for the Overseas Mafioso. Again, contact details are available on the old YouTube channel. If not, hit me up on Twitter and let me know that you would want to be part of the gang here. We meet up, of course, when I can do in person. Of course, we've got regular contact virtually. But another member of the team is Eddie to talk about things such as away day travel. Here he is, wrapping up the show.
Ewan Eddie here with some news on our brand new scheme we're looking to implement in the 2025-2026 campaign. What is it? Well, it's affordable away day travel. That's right, us at Blackburn Rovers hope to implement this brand new scheme for each and every one of the away days taking place in the upcoming campaign. Right now, we're just in the planning stages and we want to know if you are interested in away day travel for the upcoming season. Now, what I need you to do now is, of course, go to this link on the screen right about now. It's a QR code, or maybe drop down in the old description to follow the URL and fill out your name and, of course, maybe some contact information that we can reach out to you when we are 100% committed. Just a reminder that this is just the planning stage of this service. Nothing is 100% as of yet. But the more numbers and the names that we get down in the next few weeks, then, of course, then we'll have the ability to make this happen for you guys. Again, looking at what's available at the moment, this does look like an affordable option if we can get the support from you guys. And again, it's just a fantastic way for you to support the channel in another way. Back to you, Dirk.
Appreciate that, Eddie. Of course, if you are interested in away day travel, the next possibility, I do believe, might be Hull City away. So make sure you let us know, get involved, fill out the details. And of course, we'll hope to get you some more information about that as and when we get it. But until then, I'm going to bounce out of here, but I'll see you soon. When I return, I'm done.